Addicts are literally the strongest fucking people in the world. What everybody gets wrong about sobriety and addiction is they think we've got a lack of willpower, a lack of discipline. It's neither. It's just not having a system and not pointing that endless fucking energy and drive that you've got on something positive. So this is the thing. I realized I've got way more drive than most people. I've got way more energy that I'm happy to give to something that's fucking destroying me. And once I had the awareness of, okay, so I've got these character traits, I will do the same thing over and over and over and over again to get that little hit of dopamine. But the things that I'm choosing aren't right. Now, when it came to actually solving the issue of my addiction, I smoked weed every single day for 10 years. I drank regularly. I lived off takeaway. I was a career criminal. You know, my life looked cool from the outside, but inside, like, yeah, I had money, but I was also fat as fuck. Couldn't stop myself. Like, I had habits that I wasn't in control of, and that's what made me feel negative about myself, because I knew that I looked a certain way, but that wasn't the actual reality, you know. And I would always side with comfort, and I think that was the thing that I disliked the most about those behaviors and patterns, because that's not how I would actually describe myself. I would actually describe myself as someone that would choose the hard option, but when I was smoking, I would choose the easy option every time, and that's probably why I got fat as well. Now, I don't want to digress too much, but I wanted to give you the context of exactly where I was at and then where it went. So I understood that my inputs were creating the reality that I was living, and I wanted something different. And the first piece of that was truly understanding who I was and who I wanted to be. And there was like, let's put me currently, or where I was, and then who I wanted to be. And there's this gap between them. And, you know, I wanted to be sober. I wanted to be free of all my vices. I didn't want to be fat, of course. Like, when you're a man and you look in the mirror and you got a belly and tits, you're never going to feel good about yourself. Like, just be honest, you're not. And, you know, that reflection brought me so much fucking shame. And I just think, you look fucking disgraceful. Like, it's not acceptable, you know. You deserve better, and you need to be better. And then the main thing was, you know, I wanted to leave my life of crime as well. So I had 3 things that I needed to tackle. So I wrote out, like, the exact man that I wanted to become. And then I just systemized it. And this is, again, as I said at the start of the video, people think it's a willpower issue, it's a discipline issue, but it's neither of the above. It's literally, you need to understand where you're pointing your energy. You know, you got a lamp, and it's pointing like this, it's just lighting up the room. But a laser, you can fucking focus that a mile down the road, or an aeroplane, you know. People got in trouble for that shit. So here's the thing. I got laser focused on where I wanted to go, and I removed everything that didn't align with the ideal self that I'd written out. So the training, the mindset, the nutrition, the daily actions, those are my inputs, and those inputs would make who I wanted to be inevitable. Again, this is where most people go wrong. They have a wish. I had a plan, and I put that plan in place, and within 30 days I was sober. I'd lost 6 kilos. Obviously I was feeling pretty different about myself, but in 90 days I was out of the life of crime. I'd created a new business that allowed me to leave that. I was sober, and I'd lost 17 kilos. And those 3 things meant the world to me. So the exact system is like this. You get crystal clear on who you want to be. You could even get a pen and paper, split the page down the middle. On the left, write your current self and describe them. And then on the right, write the ideal version of yourself. So if you wrote, I'm fat, I want to be in shape. I want to be fucking ripped with a 6-pack. Right now, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Ideally, I'd be trading Forex and living in Bali. Whatever it is for you, and then just sit with that gap and understand, why do I have this gap in my life, and what do I need to do to close that gap? This is the exact thing that I do for my clients. We address the gap. We put the steps in place that would make it inevitable that you would become the man on the right, the ideal self. And you need to understand this. It is as simple as having a daily process. And that daily process is what makes the ideal self inevitable. Not a dream, not hope, not wishing, inevitable. Because you have to understand, the life you're living now is the compound interest of the habits, the thought processes that you currently have. If you'd like a new reality, a new physique, a new bank balance, whatever it may be, that will just be the compound interest of the next set of choices that you make. Like, nothing's going to happen in a day, but you give it 30 days and then you see the compound interest of those inputs. And that's all it ever is. And it's dressed up, it's hidden, it's manipulated so that you think you don't have the power to change your life. Like, they want you weak, they want you on drugs, they want you dependent, they want you vice-ridden, because then you can't be the laser, you can only be the lamp. You can light the room up, but you can't focus on what you want and who you want to be. I'm going to show you. This is my personal, exact daily system. So, go on the list. Hopefully you can see here. If not, I'll put a screenshot on the screen. This is what I do every day. It's that simple. Now, I'm not saying those are the habits that got me sober and got me my new life. They were much simpler. Now, my goal's changed, and you just change the inputs to match. You always act from the level above, and you have to embody the identity of that man. And that's why it's like everyone tries to do, like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And it's like, why don't you just be? If you be the man that's in shape, then you're going to act in alignment with that belief. Again, this is where everyone goes wrong. I'm trying not to drink. I'm trying to not smoke. I had a client that I worked with a couple of years ago. He would always say to me, I'm really trying not to drink, but I'm a drinker. I'm like, bro, with that mindset, you're never changing, because you're identifying as a drinker, you know? Guys don't, have a sex change and then identify as a man. That's the whole problem with everything that's going on right now. They start trying to identify as a woman because who they think they are. And look, I don't want to get onto a separate subject, but you understand where I'm coming from. It's like, I don't identify as a stoner, as a criminal, or a fat guy anymore. I identify as a lean, sober coach. So I just act in alignment with that belief. When I wake up at 4 a.m. now, I don't think, ooh, should I have a joint and go back to bed? I think to myself, dope! Time to do my breath work and go to the gym. Because I act in alignment with the beliefs that I have about myself, and you always will. So you need to manipulate that view of self to actually serve you. And again, this is why you have to get crystal clear on the identity. Literally, make it your fucking screensaver, if they still call it that. Your home screen on the iPhone, make it your screensaver. Put it up on your wall. Whatever it is for you, you need to be seeing it. Think about it. Keep it in the front of your mind, because understand this. Whatever you think about the most is what you're going to get. So you're constantly thinking about lack, anger, sadness, bad luck, etc. The universe will say, bet, coming right up. If you start thinking about positive things, man, I'm getting leaner every day. I don't need drugs and alcohol anymore to feel good. I've got all these new friends that are bringing me up to their level, and I'm really living in a way that makes me proud of myself. Oh! That's the reality that will be reflected. It's time to get to work, bro. You only got one life. Put them steps in place. Identify exactly who you want to be. Turn it into a daily process. Live as that man from today. And watch how your life changes in 30 days.